All right. So, okay, welcome back to the Markdown Parser in C. So, um, yeah, I guess in the last stream we started to work on Markdown Parser, and we implemented in like immediate mode. We were trying to go character by character and generate some HTML for this Markdown. Um, Since the last time I did some refactoring, I modified the parser to work with AST, and that's mainly because I saw this repo with some explanations about the AST of Markdown. I'm not sure if it's like an official thing for the AST for the Markdown files. It also has extensions for GitHub, front matter. We do front matters ourselves. It's like some YAML in the beginning of Markdown, but I decided to parse it separately because it's part like this markdown.h header only library for C. It's mainly for the blog C generator, so it's like I guess it shouldn't be like general purpose Markdown parser. It's more for just the basic blocks, or I guess basic nodes for Markdown. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's really important to support everything, at least for now. So yeah, okay, and right now our Markdown parser is able to parse headers, paragraphs, and links. I think that's all that we parse right now. So let me just double check. So we have the links, texts, in the inside of the paragraph, and then we have heading and paragraph as parent nodes. Okay, and if we take a look at this AST like spec, let's say, it has all of these nodes. I'm gonna try to implement some of them today, like, I don't know, emphasis. We'll start with emphasis because that's an easy one, just for me to remember what I did here, and I guess as an introduction for you. And we also have, like, what I also found, which was kind of interesting, is how these blocks should be, I guess, connected to each other. So we have this root mdast content, which can be flow content, list content, or phrasing content. And I mean, kind of suggests what it is. So flow content is more like the headers. I mean, it also says here it's like the headings, the thematic breaks. It could also be even content like paragraphs or HTML, basic HTML, code, like big code blocks. I don't know what block quote is, but we'll look into them. And the entire content can also be phrasing content, right? And phrasing content is kind of part of the paragraph. I mean, it could also be part of the heading, probably even the list, right? And then we have the list content, which is just those list items starting with dash or I don't know, star. And we also have the phrasing content, which is part of the paragraph. As you can see here, we have text and then link, and this entire thing is a paragraph. So it's like those are phrasing contents. And I think it makes more sense to parse it into an AST first and then do something with it. So for example, we can just print it, and in this Markdown C repo, I'm just gonna print it like an AST. So you have the flow content, and it's it's a heading, like we see here, it's a heading. Then it has some children, only one, it's this piece of text, right? So it's this text, and then we have a paragraph with two text children, and then this paragraph which has text and then a link. And the link itself, I mean, if we check in here in the spec, you'll see that it has children of type phrasing content, so it makes sense that it's gonna have children, and the children is of type text. And I don't know, then it has URL and title. So it works as an AST right now, the parser. So yeah, as I said, I would like to maybe go ahead and try to implement emphasis maybe, or something similar, just for starters, because this is gonna be simple to parse. Ew, hello. Yeah, I mean, Markdown, I wouldn't say if it's similar to XML, but yeah, I mean, you're right, it's a tree structure, as you just saw. We did the tokenizer last time, but I refactored it a bit, and now it also did the parser in the meantime, so it's just works as a parser. So yeah, I guess started it in the previous stream if you check that out. And last time we just did some really basic stuff like this file. We tried to parse it character by character, so that was kind of the tokenizer. But now we already have something a bit bigger. So if we check here, we have all the data structures laid out. They are not filled in completely yet, so that's what we're gonna try to do today. And then for the implementation, it has a tokenizer, so like the lexer, basic lexer, and then I tried to do it character by character right into a parser, so that's kind of how it works right now. So yeah, I guess we can probably start with adding emphasis to our parser, just to remember a bit what was going on here, because yeah. Okay, so as I said, we have some data structures, and the data structures are basically these content models, right? So we have, I guess we have the blocks, then we have content flow, right? Flow content, phrasing content. We'll have to add list content. That's one thing we have to add, but yeah, whatever. So let's go. I'd like to add them in. I think they're alphabetically sorted. Okay, anyway. So let's add emphasis. I guess emphasis is gonna be the first one because I don't. Yeah, it's before heading. So sure, let's go ahead and do some coding here. So we are gonna have Markdown emphasis. Okay, and I guess emphasis is basically this, either using stars or underscores. Now that's interesting. I'm pretty sure that there's a difference between them, but maybe not. Maybe they are always bold. Whatever. I thought if you use underscores, it's italic, but I guess not. Maybe it's an extension to have a difference between them, but yeah, let's just keep it as just bold. So, or I guess for the parser doesn't really care about what we are gonna do with it, but yeah. So it's gonna be just the type, which is gonna be type emphasis, and then for the children we are gonna have parsing content, which we know is probably gonna be just text, but let's still just we're gonna need just the children basically in this structure. And as I said, we're gonna have some phrasing content. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be just text, but I guess you can put stars on top of anything, so yeah. Okay, so let's go here in our flow content kind, and let's add emphasis as a new kind. And then in the flow content structure, we have to just add our new emphasis. our new emphasis option for, I guess this could be thought of as a tagged union, or in Rust it would be an enum, right? But C doesn't really have like a great way to express that, so this is the best we could do, like have an enum for the kind and then a union for the variance, which I think it's fine probably. But yeah, anyway, so we have this emphasis as part of our blocks right now, right? So yeah, so in the parser, let's go to the entry point of our parser. So we have Markdown Parse, and basically Markdown Parse is gonna iterate character by character. It's gonna trim all the white spaces because why not? Let's just get rid of the white spaces, and then it's gonna try to parse a flow content. All right, so for the flow content, as I said, we can either have heading, and right now the other option, which is on the else case, is just paragraph. So that's what we have here. And I guess both of them are gonna parse some phrasing content, right? So here it's phrasing content and phrasing content. And the phrasing content right now, we're taking here a peek at our input. And if it starts with opening square bracket, we are trying to parse a link. I guess on the else case here, else if, we can try to pick the input, and if we have a star, I guess maybe what I should do, because I see I call this markdown pick function quite a lot, I can just create a ch character just so it's not that long, and maybe here ch is equal to underscore. Oh, and I mean like this. Okay, so yeah, basically here in the phrasing content parsing, we were checking if we have an opening square bracket, and if we see this kind of character, we know we might have a link. But if this function fails, then it means we just have some text, right? So as I said here, is text equals true, but if the markdown try parse link works, then it means that we have URL. Or I guess in the future we might also have different options like link reference, and I think there are also some other things that use square brackets, so we'll see. But yeah, I mean just modifying this function, not that interesting. So again, on this else if, we are checking if we have star or underscore, and then on the default case we just read the thing as text, right? I guess even here I could use ch, I guess here I can define a new one, why not? Right, so then yeah, as I said, we just set the type to text, and then we go character by character, and if we find if it's not text and the character is equal to opening square bracket, we stop because we want to try again for the link. And I guess in this case we're gonna add all of these symbols here, but yeah, whatever. So I guess we could do something similar here. Markdown try parse emphasis, and what's interesting is that we also have this strong. You know what? I guess emphasis is italic and strong is bold. So yeah, probably that's the way to go about it. Anyway, so we might also have a double star, which could be useful. Okay, anyway, so I mean, we are just gonna name it parse emphasis for now because I guess that works. Let's pass in input and phrasing content. If this thing works, then we just return is text is equal to true. Right, because what can happen here, I guess, is so let's say the following thing happens. We have a square bracket, but we don't use, like, we don't have this variable, right? It goes here, it fails to parse the link, and when it comes here, it finds that it encounters this symbol, so it stops, and then it tries again the same failing link. So we kind of need to say that, okay, we tried already to parse this character, but it didn't work. So that's why we need this is text variable. But yeah, whatever. So I would say now we need a function similar to this, but for emphasis and strong. Okay. Try parse emphasis. Whether I use two s's. Okay. So I mean, I will do something like this. Hopefully it's still big enough. So the first thing, I'm not sure if I want to set already the type to emphasis because we can have two different things. But let's say we make a copy of our input first. And if we don't have a star, let's do a ch again. So if we don't have a star and ch is not equal to underscore, we just return false. I guess it's just a check. It's not really that big of a deal, but yeah. Maybe another thing that we need to track is which type do we have. So maybe it's like a boolean is star, let's say, is equal to ch. But I do something like this because we want to find the matching closing character, and if the first one was star, then the last one needs to be star as well. So that's kind of the idea. Oh yeah, I mean it's something ordered from Wish. Oh, it's, I guess, we are kind of from the same part of the world. Hinged coding. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Wait, where was this one? 8 string slice? Yeah, so instead of ds, which came before aids, it was just ds, but I thought that, well, it could have a better name. No, I guess it's like std from C++, but all-in-one data structures. That's the acronym for aids.h. Okay, anyway, so yeah, we have this character, right? and we want to find the matching closing character. So that's gonna be what we're gonna try to do. So we have the content. I guess this is gonna be part of what's inside the emphasis or the strong tag. And I mean, it's probably gonna be just copy pasting this part right here from the link. So let's try to just modify it to work for star instead of closing square brackets. So if we find the closing tag, so the closing tag is gonna be interesting. So we have this is star boolean, but maybe what we also want to do is first, let's just keep it simple with emphasis first. So yeah, if we find a closing symbol, so if this is true, we need to find a star, and if it's false, we need to find an underscore. Okay, so I guess I want to add like character ch. So if is star and ch is equal to star, let's just, and the opposite case is if ch is equal to underscore. Okay, so if we find the closing tag, which would be one of these cases, we need to break the while loop, and I guess probably just end the entire function. But if we find, I mean, it's never really the case where you can find an opening tag, because star is just star, so I guess we couldn't really have a failure case. So that's a good thing. And on the else case, we are just gonna advance with our content, right? So that would be the entire while loop, I would say. Can something happen after that? I mean, obviously we need to set the input to iter, probably just return true. Yeah, but I'm curious. I mean, this cannot really fail though. That's kind of the hypothesis, but yeah, we'll see. So here we skip it. Clearly we need to do something with the content. So here, what did we do with the content? What? So we had this content. Oh, I guess we were just parsing it. Okay, yeah, makes sense. So right here, after we finish building the string size for the content, we are just gonna parse it. So yeah, I guess it makes sense. Obviously, let's initialize this thing. So emphasis. Fuck. Did I not spell it right? So phrasing content. I mean, phrasing content. Oh, I added it to the wrong one. Okay, so it should be here, I guess, right? So if we take a look here, emphasis should be part of the phrasing content. Yeah, it is. Okay, so it should be here actually. Weird. I don't know why I added it there, but yeah. Okay, it should be in this enum actually. Okay, anyway, so here we are just initializing the dynamic array. Then we are parsing the content that we just found between stars, and then just resetting the input. Okay, so phrasing content, I guess we can set the kind to emphasis, but this function we might want to use it for also trying to parse strong, but we'll see. Maybe it's gonna be just for emphasis. Okay, so let's try to run this thing. One thing that we need to change though is here when we are doing print phrasing content, we need to add a case for emphasis. So case and the emphasis, let's print indentation, let's do emphasis, and this one is also going to have some children, and then we print the children. Right, so that's what we need. Okay, and then in the markdown file, yeah, I guess as someone said, it's coding but using nvim instead of emacs, which is, I mean, it's still kind of a downgrade. I'm just making fun. Here is some emphasis. And if we try to run the parser on, oh, that's kind of sad. I mean, I guess they forget to call this function. Not really. It's time for, you know, the classic printf debugging here. Like this should be kind of a trademark. Although I guess everyone does this kind of printf and then using some text like here or something, but yeah. Well, oh, it's because I need to add a check here. So if ch is equal to star and ch is equal to, but see, now I need to do something like this, and this should be ors because it's like includes, you know. Oh, what? But at least we got there, so that's good. So inside of the main file, I guess there was an error, line 55, unknown phrasing content. Interesting, but maybe, you know, I should also just print it. Oh, that's pretty bad. Okay, interesting. I wonder where that happens though. So in here we just set the content kind to md emphasis. So that's good. Here we initialize the right structure. Maybe I'm not printing the right structure. Wait. Yeah, I need to do emphasis here. I was just not printing the right structure. Okay. Oh well, but it still doesn't like something. It's trying to print a link. Oh, because I forgot to break. Nice one. Okay, but we don't have any children. I wonder why. So here is some, and then the dot, and it needs to print. So print children. I guess I'm not printing them here, maybe. So here I just get that, print phrasing content, and then, I mean, that thing is just text, so it should print it here. We are doing that. So I mean, the content is just like this one. I don't really see an issue with it. So parse link is just parse link, and then this one, I mean, it works the same, so it should be fine. Maybe I'm not, okay, yeah, so I wasn't appending the right thing here. Okay, so it works now with emphasis, perfect. So it also parses that. But yeah, now it would be interesting to see how we can parse something that starts with the same symbol. So if we take a look here, emphasis starts with a single star and strong starts with 2 stars. So it would be interesting to see how we can look ahead one character, right? I mean, obviously it's just one character look ahead to try and figure out if we have 2 stars or just 1 star. So yeah, maybe we can try to do it here. Now the only thing would be, I mean, we can do it in a simple way, like just copy pasting this function and doing something like markdown pick 2. So this would pick 2 characters ahead instead of only 1. So we need a length of 1 at least, and it would do str1. So that would be the only difference, like what we actually need. Obviously, if you implement a proper lexer, yeah, I don't know why people would want to have something that's 0 look ahead or 1 look ahead, because it's fine to have character by character and use string.h, but yeah, whatever. We can do pick 2, why not? So here we can do something else, right? We could add an extra else if. We can add an extra else if statement. And if we have a star character, then we need to also have, let's do something like char ch2 is markdown pick 2. So we pick 2 characters. And ch2 is also star. It means we have a strong block. And if we, and the order is kind of important, because if we put this one after this one, it's never gonna go to this case, because this one is less restrictive, I guess. Or yeah, let's think about it. It's, yeah, because it's more generic, right? So it's less restrictive, and this one is more restrictive because it also adds this second character. So I guess this is kind of something that you learn if you use, let's say, a bit of Haskell and do some pattern matching there, because it's gonna, I mean, that is gonna teach you this kind of stuff with pattern matching. I guess, not really necessary, but it's kind of yeah, it's weird. It's like, I think of how I would implement the pattern matching in Haskell when I do this kind of parsing text. It's weird, I don't know why. Yeah. So if we have a strong block, obviously we are just gonna copy paste this part and just rename this to strong. And I think this guy is not going to change. So here it's not really that we check the same cases, we just check for special characters. So if we find a special character, we need to stop parsing text and try to parse the special thing. That's kind of the idea. So let's try to go ahead and parse a strong tag. So for the strong tag, pretty sure it's gonna be the same as emphasis. So let's rename this to strong, and obviously we need to add strong as an option. So just to keep the OCD happy, I need to put them in alphabetical order. So here is MD strong. Okay, and just like emphasis, I guess below link we have Markdown strong. So basically the bold tag from HTML. Okay, nice. So that's gonna give us something. And let's copy this one as well. So strong. Okay. So in here we just need to rename this to strong. That's gonna be the kind, and we still want this is star, right? We also want the second character, I guess, right from the get-go. Although it's not really needed, because what we can do is after we read the first one, we can do something like if is star and ch is not equal to star. And I guess we can do that because we are using a copy of our input to as an iterator. So we are not really changing the input, we are just changing a copy. And this is also something that I used to do in Haskell when using stuff like parser combinators. You'd have something like a try, and that thing would it would basically just parse the input if it could, otherwise it would leave it as it was, so it wouldn't modify it if it failed, which was kind of useful. So that's what I try to emulate here with this try function. It would parse the thing if it can, otherwise it leaves the input unchanged. It's kind of something useful. So here, if the first character was a star, we need the second one to also be a star. The other case is, wait, so if we have a star and the second character is not a star, or should be or and? I guess it should be and, because we are trying to fail it. So if the character is not underscore, we are gonna do return false. Otherwise we skip this character as well. So basically we are just skipping the starting of the input. Okay. Now this one is interesting. Here I would actually use ch2. Here I would actually use ch2, and the reason why is just to make our lives easier. So here and ch2 is equal to star, and here and ch2 is equal to underscore. So this would be the only difference, I would say. If we have a star, we need to find the closing star header, and the same for underscore, and then we just skip. I guess, yeah, you could make an argument of, I don't know, passing here a char tag, and instead of doing these weird if statements, we could set here the character that we are trying to parse. I mean, that, I guess that would be a good idea, just to give an example of that. Right, so yeah, why not? Let's try that. So that way we won't need is star anymore, and I think that's kind of nice. So let's try to do that because it's gonna be more fun. Okay, so we're gonna have this is tag. Let's remove this entire thing, and let's also parse the second character. So if ch is equal to tag and ch2 is equal to tag, then that should be good. So let's use the not, right? And you can make this one into, you can use the Morgan here and change the equal signs to not, and this one to or, and I guess you can do it like this, and I guess that's something from school which is useful, right? Applying a not on an operation. Okay, so that's one thing, and then here we need to do the same, but this is a positive case. Oops. So here I'm just gonna tag. Alright, so it makes it much simpler if we use a tag parameter. Right, the rest should be kind of the same. Here let's just change this to strong, and this one as well. Let's not make the same mistake twice. So I guess that's a good idea, actually. And what we can do is copy paste this thing. Okay, and if it's a star, then we use a tag of star. I was also almost going like this because of coding in Python for too much, but for too long, I guess. Yeah. So this could be an option, doing it like this, or we also have the basic one of doing it like this for emphasis. So I guess it's nice to have both examples, probably. Why not? Though honestly, I would probably go for this one because it's a bit simpler, especially if you need to look ahead one character, so you have two characters here. That's really annoying. And oh, here we need to make sure that we skip two characters. That this could have been I mean, I guess I would have figured it out pretty easily. that this was the mistake, because we would have an extra star in our text. So I would be like, well, what? Why do we have a? Watch me finding a bug now and not be able to fix it. But yeah, that would be annoying. So now we added this strong tag. So let's just case md strong, and I'm just gonna copy paste emphasis because that's basically what we have. Emphasis, but here I'm going to use strong, and I guess that should be it. But obviously I need to add an example and one with strong. Okay, so here is some emphasis and one with strong. Okay, so it kind of works. Now maybe, wait, where is the example? Like, what would happen if we have some text? So this would be the emphasis, right? But what would happen if, I don't know, we add a star in the middle? Emphasis, huh? That's kind of weird. So you know how I said that it's nice to keep both examples? I think I actually changed my mind. So maybe we want to make this one also using a tag here. So yeah, why not? Let's make things really easy for us. So here we also have tag. So as I said, we don't need star. Oh, I think it was yeah. I think I know what it was. No, actually no. Okay, so let's just keep it simple with one character at a time. So then we can just copy paste this one. So that's the tag, and here it's emphasis but with that character. So what would happen now? So kind of interesting. I guess it finds this symbol, but I was hoping to see something like text AS and then text star DA. That's what I thought it would show. I'm not sure why it, because try parse shouldn't work actually. I mean, I know it sets the kind to emphasis, but it shouldn't actually be able to parse the thing. Let's just keep this thing, just to make sure that we can debug it properly. So yeah, we have that emphasis children AS, and then as I said, I would have expected some other text. Weird. So here let's, I don't know, printf here. So it gets to this point because it finds the star from the middle, but the result should be false. So if I move this one here, it should say it doesn't. Huh. Okay. I guess so here we have a case where we return false, right? Straight up. I guess the closing character, or I guess a character that you shouldn't have in your strong block or emphasis block is new line. So I would say that if we find a new line character, we should return false. So I guess that's the semicolon of Markdown. New lines, just like Python. That's so here. Let's copy paste this one. Oh, I really like to bash on Python. It's kind of fun. So here, if the character is new line, we just return false, and here as well. Huh. I mean, excuse me, what? Pretty sure you should find a new line in there. Okay, so try parse emphasis. So it basically found a star. Goes here. I guess it's not really new line. It's a new line or end of file because yeah, here we have, I mean, we could add a new line just for that. Fuck. Maybe we need to check for end of file. Because I'm not sure if I trim white spaces. I don't remember, to be honest. But yeah, we could just say end of file. Why not? That's really sus. Let's, I don't know, printf the character. But wait, am I in? Yeah, I'm in the right one. So I guess 90. What the fuck is 97? I guess it's A. No, it's underscore, right? So let's do Python 3. Was this? No, it's ord. Yeah. Oh, but I want to do chr97. I'm curious what this one is. It's A. So we have an A, then something, then 42, which is a star. That makes sense. Then 197. So this would be the entire A S star D A. And then we have 95. The fuck is 95? So it's the underscore, then DA. Underscore DA. Maybe we didn't skip something. So try parse emphasis. So it parses the entire thing. I mean, that makes sense. Or does it though? Yeah, I guess it does make sense that the entire thing gets parsed into the content. and then it tries to parse that content here. But I'm not sure why it starts with the underscore. And that's kind of weird. Let me just, I don't know, print here the content len and content str. Oh, I guess, oh yeah, no, it was fine. But I need the s. Or, and it wants this to be integer for some reason. So it gets this as the a as the content, which is great, that's fine. That makes sense. And then it finds the a as the content, which is not really that great. So probably it finds this thing and it stops. So it never gets the chance to find end of file. So maybe we want to check the character, and if we have an end of file, we return false after this while loop. Huh. That could be an option. It's like if we get to the end of this while loop, we should fail, like here. Maybe I want to make this one like while true then, and it's like it's gonna find end of file here and it's gonna return false. So maybe that's something we can try. Okay, so that actually helped, right? And the reason why is let's say we do the skip here, skip one character, and the length becomes 0. So the while loop would stop before actually checking that we have end of file character. So maybe we want to do while true in these while loops. So that would be also here. But yeah, anyway, so it would help with these kind of situations. Maybe one more, and let's, I don't know, do what would happen if we try something that surely doesn't work. So it just gets it as text, which is nice. Okay. I mean, if I put a star here, it should say emphasis, right? No, it doesn't. Interesting. Why doesn't it say emphasis? So that would be, it's not gonna go here. So it's gonna go on the else case. It finds the underscore. I guess the underscore is gonna, it's here, it's fine, but it's not gonna work because it's probably gonna find end of file or something. So it's not gonna do that part, and it's gonna try to parse it as text. So it should find the star. Right, it should find that star, which is kind of weird. A new bug. I mean, obviously, you know, some cases would work, but we also have edge cases, so it goes into there, and it's fine. The fuck? So yeah, I mean, it finds the tag, that should be fine. But when it gets to here, it shouldn't be able to, like, it should return false. It's weird. Okay, let's go again with the single one. Okay, well, we already know that 42 is star, so it reads this entire thing, and then I guess 10 is a new line or something, right? Yeah. So it reads star ASDA star star and then new line, but it sees it as text for some reason. Which I guess it makes sense because it's gonna read the entire thing until new line, so it stops. But it should return false. So, right, like it should return false. Yeah, so it returns false. That's good. So then if we have, I was doing, okay. So it's not gonna go there. It's gonna come here. Yep. And so it's gonna come here. And what character do we have? 42. So the first one is 95, which is underscore, I guess, right? Yep. But is text. Is text should be just for the first character though. I guess that's my bad. So is text should become false after the first iteration. Okay, so maybe that was my my mistake there. Okay, nice. So we have some text with underscore, then some emphasis, and then some other text with star. Okay, so here we need to reset this text. Okay, makes sense. So I mean, we are doing some small improvements on this thing, which is kind of nice. Don't forget about the dot. Okay, so I guess that's something. I mean, pretty small progress, but you know, quite a lot of bugs. I'd kind of be interested about adding HTML, and honestly, I don't really care about. Oh, it's value. Okay. So what I want to say is I don't really care about parsing the HTML in an AST. I want it to be just a string and just plop it into the thing. I guess that would be kind of fun, but we'll see. So first of all, let's just added emphasis and strong, just to do that. And the interesting part, for what I wanted to use this thing for, markdown.h, is markdown C, is to use it in the blog post generator. So I guess the blog post, yep, the skip function just skips 2 characters, or I guess it increments the char pointer by 2. So pretty simple. So yeah, the blog post generator, I mean, it's a long story, to be honest. We did a stream on it, I guess, like 2 weeks ago or something like that. And the idea is basically it was inspired from a recent stream from Zoding with using Jai, but since we don't have Jai, I did it in C, so that I mean, it sucks, like it's really bad. But the main idea is we have some templates, right? And these templates can have C code in them, right? And this was, inspired by the idea of you can have Jai in the HTML code and execute it at compile time, but this one doesn't, C doesn't have compile time. Like, I mean, it has a bit of compile time stuff with macros, but that's really not enough. So we have to first execute the code on this HTML to generate the C code, and then run it again to generate the HTML code. So that's kind of how it works. And what we did last time was to integrate this markdown.h into our HTML generator. So that was the idea. And I guess the main function from this HTML generator, if we get there, is this one, so main render. And basically what it does, it generates this distr.h file, and then it also includes this distr.h file. So, if you make some mistakes, you cannot even compile the code anymore. So that's the fun part. But yeah, the idea is we generate this header file, and then we also include it in our C code. So if you run the program twice, it does different stuff, which is really bad, but yeah, I mean, it's also kind of fun to use. Okay, so we should have something like a markdown append, and this function calls to our parse function from markdown.h, and then it prints the root. And printing is basically what we were doing here, but instead of printing like the AST directly, we want to print HTML. Right, I guess it's kind of simple to figure out, because instead of just printing the AST, we want to do different printing. So here is the same function for printing the root. Then we have printing the flow content. For the flow content, we have header, paragraph, and inside of print paragraph, we should see I guess it's print children. Print children does print phrasing content. Okay, and print phrasing content does link and MD text. And today we added, we go to main.c, we added emphasis and MD strong. so we have to add them here as well. So case md emphasis, I guess we can just copy paste and see what we need to keep. So for the emphasis, does anyone know HTML emphasis? I don't know if it's EM, weird. So we have to add EM. Then we need to print all the children, and then we close with EM. Pretty sure that's all we need to do. But here, let's make sure we call it on the right one. And for strong, we need to do the same stuff. Let's put it here, keep it alphabetically sorted. Strong. I guess for strong is B, right? HTML strong tag. Or maybe strong. So the children. And maybe something we could do inside of the posts. Let's actually run make build main. Let's do a new post, actually post 005, and inside of this one, updated markdown.h. In this post, I am testing strong emphasis. It's template post tags. I don't know, like C HTML. I guess that's the format, right? Just let me make sure. Yeah. Okay, and then for the content, we also have like headers, so we could use a header here, something like example of using strong. I mean, it's too long. It needs to be shorter. So example for markdown.h. So we are gonna add more markdown features here. So this is simple text, and now some text with emphasis and some text with strong. Yeah. And now that's the interesting part. It wants to work with the new line in here. But you still kind of want to have new lines, so I'll have to see, maybe in here we don't want, where was it? Not in the parse link. So here maybe we don't want to check for new lines, maybe we want to check only for end of file, but that's kind of ugly because it means you have to parse the entire file first, so it could be slow, but yeah. Anyway, so if we now render the thing, it should also render the 005 one, and let's just host it so that we see the thing. I guess it doesn't show differently because I don't have CSS for it, but it's here we have an EM tag and then the strong tag. So maybe we want some nicer CSS for these things. Let's go into main CSS. So which one? I guess here I was doing post stuff, so can I do comments? I don't know. But this is for the post. So maybe we can add some stuff for EM and strong. So post content EM. Oh, I'm actually curious. What would Copilot? What would Copilot generate? Oh, so it doesn't work anymore with whatever. Maybe it's able to. Interesting. And what about? Okay, so it's just a font style. Let's see if it actually works. So I have to do render again. And if we refresh it, yeah, it looks nice. I mean, I don't know if I want to make it orange though. Was this extra character there? Yeah, not sure if why I have an extra. I guess HTML, if it detects new lines, it actually puts spaces itself. So I could trim the text. Yeah, I guess I could trim the text. So let's go back to markdown.c. So I guess even for the URL I could do that, but I mean for the URL it doesn't matter that much. So for emphasis, yeah, maybe we could. I guess I'm also gonna remove the new line from here. I'll have to figure out a way to have like a good breaking point, but I guess end of file it's good for now. So here aids string slice trim. Let's pass in content. Or maybe not even there. I guess the place where that should happen is actually here for the actual text itself. Right, because all of these are gonna be some text in the end. So here, let's do phrasing text value. All right, so we want it to be, I mean, as long as it looks the same, it's good. So let's copy it again. And if we render this thing, see now it has but this dot still, why cannot I? But you know, it makes sense that it has an extra space though. Nice. So now these are code blocks, but they are broken because we don't have code blocks yet. I guess this stuff looks fine because this was the biggest markdown block, but Yeah, now we only have one space in between them, but yeah, whatever. Again, not sure if I want to have, can I just comment? I mean, I know it's like C++ stuff, but also you can, okay, I'm not sure about the color, but yeah, maybe orange works. I mean, it's fine. I think it looks nice. Anyway. Yeah, so here again, it makes sense to have these extra spaces around it because it's from HTML, so it does that automatically. Not sure how we can do that with dot, like remove the space basically, but whatever, it's not important. Yep. So I think this one is fine to add it like this. Oh, maybe here I forgot about this one. So why I would so let's try to go here in the blog and remove that. If we render it like this, so with a new line in between, it's gonna see it apparently as emphasis for some reason, right? But if we are gonna copy paste this stuff, I think it should still keep it as strong, right? Even if we have a new line in the middle of it, because it's gonna read star star, and then I assume it should ignore the new line. Yeah, it does. Interesting, nice. So basically it ignores the new line and it finds the other star star pair. So that's, yeah. The only problem with this is, I don't know, maybe we want to find double new line before we look for end of file. Otherwise we read the entire file twice. But yeah, whatever, for now I think it's fine. I mean, it doesn't have to be very efficient. It's still good enough. But yeah, I mean, it does the job. As I said, I want to add more, especially HTML, maybe image. And the other one that could be useful for me at least is code. So let's take a short look at code. Like this. But honestly, I have no idea how you can actually print the code in HTML. I guess you need something extra, some extra JavaScript plugin. I remember I used to do something like that. I don't know if I remember the name of the project. I think it was a code hint. Yeah, whatever. It's like really old. It was for like a uni project, like from 3 years ago, I guess. So, and I'm pretty sure it was using something external for displaying code. And it's using like what, Svelte or something? I guess it was using Svelte, but yeah, whatever. So I'm not sure if things maybe changed in the front end for displaying code, but I think I was using something like something starting with A. I don't remember what exactly, but I have to check. Yeah, so that was displaying code like in a VS Code format, which yeah, I mean, yuck, VS Code, but it is what it is. So that's how we might be able to display code, because that could be nice to see it as, syntax highlighted. And as I said, HTML is also nice because if we can just use HTML, we can use HTML for anything, right? So yeah, I guess HTML should have been what I started with, but I guess an interesting thing would be to just interpret everything, or what the fuck, just interpret the text as HTML. Where was the HTML? Here. That could work. But yeah, I don't know. I guess that's a good idea to just view text as HTML. That way you can even write like JavaScript in here. Yeah, why not? Maybe we can try that. But I guess yeah, that should be it for today, I think. So let me just add this extra stuff in this commit and just push it. So yep. And for this one, I guess we just change a couple of things. So we can just I don't know, feature add new post and updated markdown. Right, so this one is the blog posts, and I mean it's just for experimentation with this C generator code, which is kind of nice, but yeah, it was extremely painful to implement there. But I think it has some interesting features. So yeah, I guess that's gonna be everything for today. And well, I mean, yeah, and yeah. So thank you for watching, and we'll see in the next one. So until then, see you.